Okay, my lovely kiddos. Uh-oh, hold on. Calm down. Here we go. Okay, cool. So I have this page on, what is it, page 5 you said? Or 6? Page 6. You guys can fill out your own table of contents, which we will actually spend some time doing that at some point. But we're going to be writing linear equations from a table. Writing linear equations from table. Okay? When you're doing this, I believe I'm thinking in my head right now how many steps you need. I'm gonna give you some bigger steps here. I'm gonna put a pretty decent sized box here. It's gonna be a flow map. Okay, that's your first one. All right, that's your second one. And bless you. All right, go ahead and all right, and I'll zoom in a little bit. First step, second step, okay? Now, I'll give you guys a second. Let me get back to this. And so look at the note I put on the bottom. Pick 2 points and find the slope. Pick 2 points and find the slope. Okay? So let's go and do that. I'm going to use a different color so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and pick 0, 4. And 1, 6. If you've forgotten how to find the slope, didn't we do a note on that one? Where's that one? Right here, page 2, right? Is this page 2, the slope formula? Y minus y, x minus x. Go back to this map if you forgot how to do that. No worries if you forgot how to do that. All right, now, I might even, when I give you quizzes and stuff, I'll be like, go to page 6 notes for this one. You know what I mean? So that could help you, or like your homework. I'll be like, this is where you need to go to make sure you know what you're doing. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and label this properly, correct? We're going to go xy, xy, okay? And then as I set this up, it's going to be y minus y, x minus x. Okay, and that's going to actually equal -2 over -1, which actually equals +2 over 1. Can we just call it 2? Slope equals 2. All right, you keep writing that down. Let me go back to this. Anytime you have a table, your job is to dissect this table, to tear it apart, to break it up. So you have a table here. What are you going to do? You're going to break it up and always find the slope. Another word for slope, the rate of change. The rate. Whenever you see the word rate, that means slope. Okay? Now, 2 is our slope. Second box. Let's go. Second step. That was all the first step was. We already know this, right? We already did this whole thing. Second step. Begin to write. Oh, you can't see that, but my honors can, or my video can. Begin to write equation in by including, what happened? I must have hit too fast there. By including the slope. Begin to write equation in y equals mx plus b form, that's slope-intercept form, by including the slope. So all you're going to do is write out the slope-intercept form, but you're going to include the slope. So this is going to be easy box. What is slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. The m and the b, the m is a slope, the b is a y-intercept. What did I say? I said start writing it out. Do we know anything? Do we know what the slope is? We do. I'm going to just make sure you remember the slope. All right. I'm glad I did the notes this way. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep it simple. I don't want to put so much in that second box. So we have one more box. I'm going to write this out, and then I'm going to give you some time to get it done. I'll pause it for my video. All right, pay attention. So let's just recap what we've done so far. We just decided to take 2 points out of the table. Any 2 points. It says any two. Let's just pick 2. It doesn't matter which points you pick. Any 2 points you pick, you're going to get the same answer. You find the slope. Well, we know the slope goes right here next to the x. We don't know what the y-intercept is. It's okay. Their video's on. Sorry. So we don't know what the y-intercept is. Now it says begin to write equation, which we just did, with the slope. But now we have to figure out what this y-intercept is going to be. All right, the third step. Pick any point from table and plug in x value and y value to figure y-intercept. It's a big note, but you guys are going to get this, I promise. So pick any point from table and plug in x value where the x is and y value where the y is to eventually figure out how to make this make sense. All right? Go ahead and write that down. All right, now we're ready to roll. This is where it all comes down to. So I'm just going to pick a point. I'm going to pick 412. I'm going to pick the last point on my table. It doesn't matter which one I pick, but I'm going to pick 412. Go ahead and put 412 up here. I got you. Thank you. Thank you for yelling at me there. There we go. 412. Now, is 4 my x value? 12 is my y. All right, where did I find that? In my table. You can pick any one of these coordinates. Any one of them will work. So let's just focus on this last box. So the 4 is an x. The 12 is a y. Interesting. Look at my equation. I have a spot for an x. I have a spot for a y. Why don't we go ahead and write it out down here? What was my y? 12 equals 2 times, isn't it when they're right next to each other, that means multiply. 2x. What's my x? 4. Cool. Now, this is the part you've been waiting for. we have to make this, imagine this is a language arts class. Does this make sense? And then let's put it down here. Sentence must make sense. The sentence must make sense. I'm going to put in quotations. You're like, this isn't language arts. No, I want you to think of this as a language arts question. 12 equals 2 times 4. Does that sentence make sense? What is 12? 12 is 12. Does 12 equal 2 times 4 is 8? Does 12 equal 8? No, of course not, Marusik. Of course not. Well, how can we make sense? How can we make this sentence make sense? Because we have to include something here. I should have put a spot there. We must include something. Am I going to subtract something to 8 to get to 12? Or am I going to add something? And we're going to add 4. We're going to add 4. Let me try to get my fancy. All right, let's see if this works. We're going to add. Oh, that's terrible. Ew, it was right. We're going to add 4. Now, does it make sense? Does 12 now equal 12? It checks out. So what does this plus 4 mean? This number right here goes right here. Plus 4. Okay? So this whole idea of plugging in a coordinate into your equation to see if it's going to make sense. And guess what? All of my coordinates fit this equation. Let's just imagine, I'm going to write it down here. You guys don't have to write notes on this part, but I'm going to write it down here so you can see it. What was my equation? Y equals 2x plus 4, right? Well, let's look at the first coordinate. 0, 4. Does 0, 4 work? Where's 0 going to go? 0 is going to go right here for x. Where's 4 going to go? Right here. 2 times 0, 0 plus 4, 4. Does 4 equal 4? Yes, sir. All right, let's try it again. For the next coordinate, I'm using all the points. This is just for you guys for your own benefit to take a look at this. What was the equation I got? 2x plus 4. Let's try 1. If I plug in 1 here, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4, that equals 6. What is y supposed to be? 6. Does it check out? All right, let's do it in our head. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8, and then 3. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10. Okay? So that's the note for today. We're going to have an ed puzzle tomorrow to go in more detail on how to do this. Don't worry if you're kind of lost. That's not that big a deal. You'll be just fine. Just remember the steps. Find your slope first. Write out the equation without the y-intercept. And then start plugging in any point you want to try to make it make sense. Sometimes you might minus, right? What if this wasn't a 12? What if this was like a 2? And you had 8, you had 2 equals 8. Then you would go minus 6. You good? Because 8 minus 6 would be 2. Okay? Best you can. That's all I'm going to ask you guys. We're going to keep going over this. Don't even worry.